Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be smoking and reviewing the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes, which I am very excited to try for the first time, mainly just because this is both a super rare and a super expensive cigarette, you know what I'm saying? So as such, I'm very excited to try it for the first time and to see how it actually is and to see if it's worth the price of $10.50 and to see if it's worth the hassle of actually trying to find a good plan sale, because only one shop in my area, to my knowledge at least, sells these cigarettes. Well, at the shop I get a plan sale, I just walked in some random shop that I don't normally go into kind of thing. I've been in that shop like maybe once before, you know what I'm saying? And when I went in there, I didn't even smoke at that time I get a plan. So it was literally years ago, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't paying attention to what cigarettes they had or anything like that. But I just walk into this random shop that I'm never in, I get a plan sale, just to get myself a Monster and everything like that, because it's a convenience store. And I look at the cigarette shelf just before I leave and everything like that while I'm checking out, just to see, yeah, maybe they'll have some rare cigarettes or something like that. And then I see these and the Nat Sherman Black and Golds, and I'm like, what? This is just some random convenience store. Why do they have two super rare cigarettes in stock? I get a plan sale. I was like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Although certainly I am not complaining, you know what I'm saying? I am certainly not complaining about them having super rare cigarettes or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? I was just not expecting it at a good plan sale. Only one shop in my area, to my knowledge, has these cigarettes in stock, you know what I'm saying? So as such, I can definitively say that these are super rare, you know what I'm saying? Now, the problem with these being super rare is that there is a very large lack of information online, because these don't seem to just be rare in my area. They seem to be rare just about everywhere. So as such, I don't know if these are ultralights. I don't know if these are lights. I don't know if these are full flavors. What I do know is that Dunhill makes a fine cut black as well, you know what I'm saying? And those are the full flavored, so if I had to guess, these are probably a lighter version of the Dunhill Fine Cut Blacks. Sadly, the store I went to did not have the Dunhill Fine Cut Blacks, only the whites, which really is a shame, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, I'll take what I can get for some super rare cigarettes like these, you know what I'm saying? So certainly no complaints on my behalf. Overall, though, I'm very excited to try these, not only because they're super rare, you know what I'm saying? Not only because they're really expensive and because I'm excited to find out if these are actually good and worth the price and everything like that kind of thing, but I'm also very excited to try these for the first time, mainly just because, well, they're a Dunhill cigarette I haven't tried before. And Dunhills, in my personal experience at least, are absolutely fantastic. I've tried the entire Dunhill International line, and I had a fantastic experience with all of them. And as such, I certainly do expect to have a fantastic experience with this cigarette as well, you know what I'm saying? And I certainly do hope to have, well, a great experience with these as well, you know what I'm saying? But now that I've gone ahead and told you guys a little bit of an overview about how rare the cigarette is, about how expensive the cigarette is, and about everything like this cigarette, or just how much trouble it is to find it, how little information there is online and everything like that, I think it's actually time for me to go ahead and tell you guys my expectations for the smoke of this cigarette and everything like that kind of thing. What are my expectations for the Dunhill Fine Cut cigarettes? Well, my expectations right off the bat are that it's going to be a very much additive-free sort of Dunhill-like taste, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely expecting a more mild, a smaller body, and definitely the taste, if I just had to guess what the taste is going to be like, it's going to be a very mild tobacco taste with some sour and some sweetness in there, which is definitely a pretty distinct Dunhill sort of taste, I gotta be honest. So that's kind of what I'm expecting from this cigarette right off the bat, I gotta be honest. But now that I've gone ahead and told you guys my expectations for the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes, I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and hop into the packaging of these cigarettes. And then after I go ahead and go over all the packaging and everything like that, it is time for me to go ahead and get the pack all opened up, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get one of the cigarettes out, let you guys know how it looks, how it feels, what the quality of it is like, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, it's gonna be time for me to go ahead and get one of the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes all lit up and go ahead and let you guys know what I actually think of, well, these cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? Overall though, as said, I'm very excited to try these for the first time, and very excited to give you guys a review, because, well, these are super rare, and overall, I'm just very excited to try them for the first time, you know what I'm saying? I do think without further ado though, let's go ahead and hop into the packaging. Now, the packaging for this is a very nice look. It's a very different look from other Dunhills that are sold in the United States, but it's a very good look nonetheless. And one thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this video is that these are indeed 100 size cigarettes. The Dunhill Fine Cut line in the United States is only 100 size. It doesn't say 100s on them or anything like that kind of thing, which is why it's not in the title. But these are indeed 100 size cigarettes, and I gotta admit, it's a pretty good looking 100 size pack. I get a plan, so it's definitely a more minimalist look than a lot of other cigarettes on the market today. And overall, I think it's a really good look. You know what I'm saying? We can just see that the overall background for the actual cigarette pack itself is just a very nice sort of flat white color kind of thing. There's no color sort of variation. It doesn't get darker towards the bottom or the top or lighter or anything like that kind of thing. It's just one flat color all the way down, you know what I'm saying? And then we can just see there's a ribbon right here, there's a line right here, and then there's another line right there, which I'll be getting to these two in just a minute. But the first thing I want to cover is this ribbon right here, you know what I'm saying? And we can see that there is some text on the ribbon. Now, to describe the color of the ribbon itself, I'm not really exactly sure. I definitely have to say it's kind of a bronzy silver. I definitely have to say it's kind of a bronzy silver, and it's kind of odd actually, because it actually has a texture to it. I don't know if you guys can tell through the camera, but this actually has a texture to it, which is really, really odd. It has sort of a tortoise-shelly texture to it. Like a very, very small, very detailed sort of tortoise-shelly, maybe like dried out desert, like lake bed, maybe like dried out lake bed sort of texture to it, which is very, very odd and is definitely something that you do not see on a lot of cigarette packs, you know what I'm saying? It just has a very, very detailed texture, which is very, very odd, you know what I'm saying? And definitely something I did not expect, but certainly no complaints on my behalf. The overall color for it though, right off the bat kind of thing, is definitely sort of a very silvery bronze, if I had to say, you know what I'm saying? And we can just see the Dunhill logo right here, you know what I'm saying? We can just see it says Dunhill right there, and then we can just see just the Dunhill square with the D in the center kind of thing. And this is all in black, except for the center of the D right there, which is in a slightly lighter dark gray, you know what I'm saying? Definitely more of a like sort of ash gray and everything like that kind of thing. No complaints on my behalf. And the Dunhill logo along with the D right there is all embossed. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. And then we could just see the Dunhill coat of arms right there. Sadly not embossed, but once again in black, you know what I'm saying? And then we can just see it just says Dunhill Fine Cut right here. Sadly not embossed. Fine Cut is not embossed, but that certainly is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It just says Fine Cut right there in a very, very nice simple font. Certainly no complaints from me. And then we could just see that's pretty much all there is to the stuff that's actually on the ribbon itself. There's really nothing else on the ribbon right here, which in my personal opinion gives it a very, very nice minimalist look, because there's really not a lot going on the front of the packaging or on the back of the packaging, but I'll be getting to the back of the packaging in just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we can just see there's a line going through the ribbon right here, which is the exact same color as the ribbon kind of thing, so it doesn't really disrupt the flow of the packaging or anything like that. It's the same exact color as the actual ribbon itself. As said, that very, very nice sort of, I would definitely have to say, bronzy sort of silver, which this does not actually have any sort of texture to it or anything like that. I got a glance, so it's a completely different texture than the actual ribbon itself, but it is indeed the same color, you know what I'm saying? And then down here, we can just see it just says since 1907, and then under this line right here, which just stretches around partly to the side of the packaging, we can just see it just says Dunhill right there, you know what I'm saying? All in that very, very nice sort of silver bronze color as well, you know what I'm saying? And of course, no sort of texture or anything like that. It's just colored, you know what I'm saying? There's no really texture or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much all there is to the front of the packaging besides the texture of the packaging. Now, I've described the texture on the actual ribbon itself, but you can't feel that texture besides the embossment right here, you know what I'm saying? Well, you can't feel that texture. But there is texture that you guys can feel, that I can feel on this packaging right off the bat kind of thing, and I'm sure you guys can see it. It's this curved sort of weird look that is honestly very, very odd, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very odd. Now, there's no embossment going from the actual back of the packaging or the actual background of the packaging to the actual ribbon right here or anything like that, but there is sort of a ridged, sort of ribboned look to the packaging itself, which is very, very odd. I got a plan, so we can just see there's lines going all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down kind of thing, and then when you run your finger across horizontally through the cigarette pack, you can feel all of those lines kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. I feel like a bug just went down my shirt. It is a little bit buggy out here today, you know what I'm saying? It's certainly warm, and there certainly are a lot of bugs out here right now, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a bug just went down my shirt. I certainly hope no one didn't, you know what I'm saying? But I certainly do feel like one just did, you know what I'm saying? But we can just feel all those lines kind of thing. I can just feel all those lines just up and down, up and down, up and down, giving it a very, very interesting and a very, very unique texture to the packaging. I got a bland sun. Definitely one of the most unique cigarette packaging textures I've ever felt. I got a bland sun. Overall, it's very, very interesting and definitely not something I expected from this pack of cigarettes. It's definitely something that you don't really find on Dunhill Internationals or anything like that kind of thing, and this is definitely something where it's just super unique right off the bat. Now, one thing I do find interesting is that because this line is right here, there's actually no like sort of like any of this like ridges or anything like that right here. I got a plan, so which is really interesting. It's all on this side kind of thing, but it is asymmetrical nonetheless, which I do find very, very interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because this line is right here, it is indeed asymmetrical, but I feel like I really, really, really want to talk more about the ridges and everything like that, but I feel like I don't have more to talk about them. But it's just so cool, you know what I'm saying? I really, really like the ridges and everything like that. It gives the pack such a unique texture, such a unique look kind of thing. I mean, like, look at that. That is so uniquely, you know what I'm saying? It just looks so odd. I got a plan, so it looks so odd, but so good at the same time. And I really, really like it as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think I've covered everything there is to say about the front of the packaging and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Along with the ridges and everything like that, which I'm sure I could just continue going on about how much I love for the next 5 minutes. I get a plan, but I'm going to try to withhold. I'm going to try to restrain myself from doing that. I get a plan, because I think you guys get the idea, you know what I'm saying? I hope you guys get the idea at least. I really like these ridges, you know what I'm saying? So I do think without further ado, it is time for me to go ahead and move on to the back of the packaging, which we can see is pretty much exactly as the same as the front of the packaging. We just have the ribbon right here. There's a line right here kind of thing. There's no lines or anything like that on this side or anything like that kind of thing. But what it actually says on the ribbon is very much different from, well, what's on the front of the packaging. You know what I'm saying? We can see there's not even a Dunhill logo on the back or anything like that, but we can see the actual text on the actual ribbon itself just says, this refined blend is made with tobacco cut beyond ordinary standards into 46 cuts per inch for a smooth taste with no additives. To keep it at its best for longer, we feature our resealable D-lock, exclusively Dunhill. Wait a minute. Does this have a reseal feature like the Marlboro Smooths or the Marlboro Smooth Ice or the Marlboro Bold Ice? Whoa. I didn't even read this before I started the review. What? This has a Ziploc like feature like the Marlboro Smooths? That's sick. I am even more hyped to try this now, y'all. I cannot believe this. But I completely forgot to mention at the beginning of this video what fine cut actually means. I'm actually not exactly sure what fine cut actually means, but basically what it means is what they said on the back of the packaging kind of thing. It is just tobacco cut beyond ordinary standards. That's what fine cut means kind of thing. Base cut is just like normal cigarette tobacco, get a plan stuff, and fine cut is just when it's just cut more, it's just a finer tobacco, get a plan stuff. That's literally what fine cut means. It literally just means it's a finer cut of the tobacco, get a plan stuff. I guess the name is kind of self-explanatory, but let me know in the comments down below if I said that wrong or anything like that. If you guys know what fine cut actually means or anything like that. I'm certainly not a fine cut / normal cut / regular cut, whatever you want to call it kind of thing, expert, that is for sure. I definitely do need to do more research on that in the future, but we can also see that on the ribbon itself, it just says no additives in our tobacco does not mean a safer cigarette, with not in bold right there, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints from me, that is for sure, which of course they are required to put on the packaging in the United States because, well, these are a additive-free cigarette, and one of the selling points is that these are additive-free. So in the United States, they do indeed have to say that no additive does not mean a safer cigarette because, well, that's required by U.S. legislation, you know what I'm saying? But we can just see that, of course, the back of the ribbon is exactly the same as the front of the ribbon, or is the exact same color as the front of the ribbon, you know what I'm saying? Kind of that bronzy sort of silver look to it, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints from me. And then we can just see in that same sort of bronzy silver look, we can just see it says Perfectionists in Tobacco, Dunhill. So certainly no complaints from me. They certainly do be perfectionists in tobacco, that is for sure. And then we can just see down here, it just says designed in London, made in Switzerland, which is honestly something you don't see a lot. Switzerland and cigarettes are not something I would personally think would go together, I get a plan, so, but certainly no complaints from me though, that is for sure. Definitely got to see if I can visit the Dunhill factory if I ever go to Switzerland, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? That certainly would be a very, very fun experience and certainly would have no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? But overall though, that's pretty much the back of the packaging. We can just see there's the same exact line going through the ribbon as there is on the front of the packaging, and once again, there are all these ridges and everything like that right here. We can just see though that the ridges do indeed continue all the way up to the top of the packaging right here. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I kind of expected them to stop because the packaging, you kind of just got to fold it over and everything like that. I kind of expected it to stop, just like how most cigarette packs do not have embossment on the back of the packaging, especially if it's along this line right here. I was kind of expecting it to stop, but it did not stop. Those ridges are still right here and everything like that, and you cannot feel the ridges right here. So they are indeed just added ridges into the packaging just right here. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the ribbon itself, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same with the front of the packaging. There are no ridges on the actual ribbon itself or anything like that. It's just on the top and the bottom of the packaging, you know what I'm saying? But now that I've pretty much covered the back of the packaging and everything like that, you know what I'm saying, which is a pretty good look overall. I really like how they explained what fine cut actually means, you know what I'm saying? As said, 46 cuts per inch for a smooth taste with no additives kind of thing. No complaints on me. No complaints from me. That's definitely a very, very good sort of market selling spiel, sort of a market segmentation spiel. Certainly no complaints from me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what the resealable D-lock actually is, you know what I'm saying? I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that because, well, the Dunhill Internationals do not have the resealable D-lock. So as such, I'm very, very excited to see what it actually is and how it works. I gotta be honest, I'm very, very excited to see how the resealable D-lock actually works, you know what I'm saying? But now that I've covered the back of the packaging and the front of the packaging, you know what I'm saying, I do think without further ado, it is time for me to go ahead and move on to, well, the top of the packaging right here, you know what I'm saying, which we can just see, it just says Dunhill fine cut right there, you know what I'm saying? And Dunhill is indeed embossed. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. And we can just see the Dunhill square right there. And all of the text and everything like that is in that very, very nice sort of bronzy silver text that the ribbon is made out of, you know what I'm saying? Except for the actual middle of the Dunhill right there, you know what I'm saying? In that Dunhill right there, in the Dunhill square right there, in the D right there, you know what I'm saying? We could just see that that is actually black right there, you know what I'm saying? And as I said, this is all embossed besides the fine cut right here, you know what I'm saying? We can just see the bottom of the packaging is quite literally the exact same as the top of the packaging, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints from me. And we can just see that the cigarette numbers for this pack are 69 Q19 K88, K19. I have no clue what those numbers mean, you know what I'm saying? But if you guys know, please make sure to let me know in the comments down below, you know what I'm saying? And taking a look at the top of the packaging, it's said the exact same as the bottom, and the bottom of the packaging is the exact same as the top, you know what I'm saying? Taking a look at the, let's see, so I'm going to take a look at the, what is this? So from my angle, but from y'all's angle, this would be the left side of the packaging. So I'm going to take a look at the right side of the packaging from my perspective, you know what I'm saying? And taking a look at the right side of the packaging, we can just see in black right here, it just says British American Tobacco Group right here, you know what I'm saying? Because of course Dunhill is indeed owned by British American Tobacco, and this, I feel like the leaves up here are actually embossed. What? That's so sick, you know what I'm saying? British American Tobacco Group, the text itself is not embossed, but the leaves up here are embossed, which is great attention to detail, and I really, really do like that. And the text itself is in black, you know what I'm saying? And we can, of course, see that this ribbon stretches all the way around the packaging, which I love, you know what I'm saying? I love stuff that stretches all the way around packaging, you know what I'm saying? And they've certainly done a great job with this, so certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? But under the ribbon right here, there's no text on the ribbon on the side of the packaging or anything like that kind of thing. We can just see it says Dunhill Fine Cut right there, you know what I'm saying? And the same color that the ribbon is made out of, you know what I'm saying? And then under Dunhill Fine Cut right there, we can just see it just says manufactured under authority of Dunhill Tobacco of London Limited, you know what I'm saying? So this is manufactured under the authority of Dunhill Tobacco of London Limited. I don't really know exactly what that means. Is that like Coca-Cola, where they have bottlers to bottle Coca-Cola and everything like that kind of thing? Or is it like, yeah, I'm really not exactly sure. I get a plan, so I'm really not exactly sure. I just would assume it's manufactured under the authority of Dunhill Limited. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory, you know what I'm saying? But we can just see the barcode right here, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. And then we can just see that, of course, these are FSC compliant, because, well, they are indeed sold in the United States. And this is one of the first things that I actually checked when I bought these cigarettes. I was like, are these actually legal to sell in the United States? I was like, I really have no clue. I get a plan stuff, because I didn't even realize that they sold these in the United States. I get a plan stuff. So the first thing I checked was whether or not these were FSC compliant, and they are indeed. So these are indeed U.S. market cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? But I certainly was not really expecting them to be, because, well, I was just expecting the shop just had some international cigarettes or anything like that kind of thing, and they were just keeping it on the down low, that is for sure. I was not really expecting these to actually be U.S. market cigarettes, but when I checked it, I was like, wow, these actually are U.S. market cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? So certainly no complaints on my behalf. But taking a look at the other side of the packaging, because that's pretty much all there is on the right side of the packaging from my perspective, you know what I'm saying? So now taking a look at the left side of the packaging from my perspective, we can now see that it, of course, says that there are 20 Class A cigarettes in this, well, packaging, you know what I'm saying? Which is another, I guess, which is another thing that tells you that these are sold in the United States, I do suppose, you know what I'm saying? That does make a lot of sense, because Class A is a U.S. thing, not a European thing or a Mexico thing or a Canada thing or something like that kind of thing. It is a U.S. thing. Class A cigarettes are, well, a USA thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a tax designation. So as such, of course, these are going to be 20 Class A cigarettes. It just has to say 20 Class A cigarettes right here, you know what I'm saying? Get my words all jumbled up, oh my goodness. But under 20 Class A cigarettes right here, you know what I'm saying? We can, of course, once again see the ribbon right here, you know what I'm saying? Then we could just see the Surgeon General warning right here, which, of course, is required in the United States. I don't know why I specifically looked at the Fire Safe cigarettes or at the FSC right here to confirm that they're sold in the United States. I literally could have looked at the Surgeon General warning, the 20 Class A cigarettes, or basically a lot of other details of this packaging to find out whether they were U.S. market or not, you know what I'm saying? So I certainly do find that pretty funny. But the Surgeon General warning just says, and it's all in black right here, along with this being all in black right here, you know what I'm saying? It just says smoking by pregnant women may result in fetal injury, premature birth, and low birth weight. Thankfully, I'm not pregnant, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about that. But overall, though, that's pretty much the packaging. On the bottom of the packaging as well, one thing I forgot to mention is that the Dunhill logo is indeed embossed once again, you know what I'm saying? On the bottom of the packaging and on the top, so certainly no complaints from me. But that's pretty much all there is to the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a 360 real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the plastic all off and go ahead and let you guys know what the texture of the packaging is under the actual plastic slash cellophane slash whatever it is kind of thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and rip off the plastic just right off the bat. Ooh, that came off very satisfyingly. Let's go ahead and just get the rest of the plastic off real quick if I can. There we go, there we go. And I'm not going to get the pack all opened up yet. I'm going to go ahead and shove the plastic into my backpack right here, you know what I'm saying? And let's just go ahead and feel what this actually feels like, you know what I'm saying? Those ridges are very, very distinct under your finger when you have the plastic off and everything like that. And the overall texture is a very, very nice sort of, yeah, it's a very, very nice sort of the glossy matte right here kind of thing. It's a very, very nice matte with a little bit of gloss to it. Definitely like 80% matte with like 20% gloss. I get a blend. And then right here, it is just full on matte. I get a blend. So full on matte, not sticky at all. It's a little bit sticky down here kind of thing. Not sticky at all right here. You know what I'm saying? Definitely just completely different texture of the packaging. You know what I'm saying? So certainly no complaints from me. And you can just see the actual look of the actual ribbon itself, all of those lines and everything like that make it look like kind of like a desert or something like that. I get a blend. So like a dried out lake bed. You can just see those so distinctly, well, without the plastic on them and everything like that. I don't know if you guys can still see that. I think it's a bit too detailed to see on the camera and everything like that. But certainly certainly very, very interesting nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? And testing the British American Tobacco Group logo, it is indeed embossed on the side of the packaging, which is the first time I've ever seen embossment on the side of a cigarette packaging, you know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf. This is so cool right off the bat. I am so excited to go ahead and get this pack all opened up, which I do think, without further ado, I am going to go ahead and do, you know what I'm saying? I do think without further ado, let's go ahead and get this all opened up. So what is the Dunhill D-Lock? Oh, okay. So this is very interesting. So we can just open it up right here. And so this is the Dunhill D-Lock. The foil itself is the lock. And it just says right here, under this sort of thing right here kind of thing, it just says D-Lock. Exclusively Dunhill right there, with this side in white and this side in that silver bronze kind of thing, with the text on this side being in that very, very nice silver bronze, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. So yeah, it just says D-Lock, exclusively Dunhill. On the top of the lid right here, we can just see it just says, may we be of service. It just says 1888 XPRTDNL, which I guess means expert Dunhill, you know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf. And then we could just see that the actual D-Lock right here, which of course is just foil. It's not like Marlboro's where there is like no foil or anything like that kind of thing, because on Marlboro's there's no foil. It just opens up kind of thing, and it's just resealable just like that, I gotta plan. So, or there might be foil. I really cannot remember, I gotta plan. So there might be foil, but once you pull it out, it kind of just reseals when you actually close the packaging itself. I guess with this, you might actually have to close the actual foil itself. This is very, very interesting right off the bat. We can see that the side of the D-Lock right here is all in a very, very nice gold, definitely a different color than the actual ribbon itself, you know what I'm saying? And then we can just see that there are a bunch of like wavy lines going all over the D-Lock right here kind of thing. And we can just see right here, it just says, has a very, very thick line right here, and then it just says 46 cuts right there, you know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf. Look at how detailed that is. Look at how cool that is. I love that, you know what I'm saying? This is probably one of the most unique pieces of packaging I have ever seen. I gotta take a sip of water though. I've been talking for a fat minute. Excuse me. But I love this kind of thing. I love this. This looks so cool, you know what I'm saying? I love the detail. I love all of the lines going everywhere kind of thing. It's just kind of like a very, very interesting sort of wavy line pattern just going all the way over there. And then it just says 46 cuts, going in very natural, because it's going in very naturally, because those are made out of lines as well. Very, very interesting. But I'm not gonna hold off any longer kind of thing. I'm not gonna hold off any longer. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can actually go ahead and get this all opened up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this up, which I think is what you're meant to do. There we go. Okay. And so that, and then you just pull it back down and it sticks. Oh, okay. So it's basically the exact same thing as the Marlboro reseal lock and everything like that kind of thing, except different. Let's go ahead and get one of these Dunhill fine cut cigarettes all out and go ahead and see how they actually look, you know what I'm saying? But this, right off the bat, such a cool look, you know what I'm saying? No complaints from me. Definitely, I think this will keep my cigarettes pretty fresh. And the inside of it is in a very, very nice gold as well. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Let's go ahead and see if I can get one of these cigarettes out, though. The one thing about the D-Lock is that I think it makes the cigarettes a bit harder to get out, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? So let's just see if I can get one of these cigarettes out. I got a plan. So this is certainly being a little bit challenging right now, that is for sure. There we go. All right, I got them. I got one of them out, you know what I'm saying? So let's just go ahead and get that just like that. And let's just go ahead and poke this all down. Let's go ahead and put the D-Lock back on, you know what I'm saying? Definitely not as easy to use as the Marlboro reseal and everything like that kind of thing. Definitely not as easy to use, but still pretty nice nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? And this is, oh my goodness, what? This is probably one of the most unique looking cigarettes I have ever seen. I am not joking, y'all. What? I am just trying to grasp what's going on right now. Ah, this is so cool. Okay, so the filter itself, right at a glance kind of thing, looks white. And the filter is white. But there's a design on the filter. There's a design on the filter. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. I'm going to try to get it to show up by putting my hand behind and making it focus and everything like that kind of thing. I'm going to get my face out of here and just see if it'll focus on that. It does not seem to want to focus on that or anything like that. Sadly, I got a plan. So, but we can actually see there's like silver lines going all the way up and down the actual filter itself kind of thing. And it just says FC, 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 fine cut, fine cut, fine cut. I love that, you know what I'm saying? And it looks like a very, very geometric design, which I love the look of, you know what I'm saying? I love the look of. It's a very, very light silver. It's a lot lighter than the silver right here, I get a plan. So certainly it is a little bit hard to see, that is for sure, but it's such a cool design. And this is definitely by far one of the most unique cigarettes I have ever had the chance to try, to smoke, to review ever, I get a plan. So this is so cool, you know what I'm saying? This is so cool. Right off the bat, this is worth the $10.50, you know what I'm saying? This is worth the $10.50. So cool, you know what I'm saying? I'm loving these cigarettes right off the bat. But we can just see, as said, it just says FC, FC, FC right there, you know what I'm saying? In a very, very geometric pattern, the F and the C. I know you guys can't see. I don't think you guys can see very well or anything like that kind of thing. I don't think you guys can see the actual logo or anything like that. That's actually on the actual cigarette itself. So I'm going to try to describe it, but the F is like kind of like this, so the F is like this kind of thing, and then the C is like right under the F right there, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that, you know what I'm saying? It looks so cool on the cigarette filter, and I absolutely love it. But moving on from that, we can just see that there's a nice, very distinct silver line right here, you know what I'm saying? And then we can just see under that silver line, it just says Dunhill right here in silver with a nice red square right there, of course being just the typical Dunhill thing that they might put on, well, cigarettes themselves, you know what I'm saying? So certainly no complaints from me. And that's pretty much the filter, that's pretty much the cigarette right off the bat. The rest of the cigarette looks pretty ordinary, you know what I'm saying? Really no complaints on my behalf. One thing that is very interesting to mention is that not only does this filter have like designs on it and everything like that kind of thing looking very, very interesting, but it's also a different texture than most other cigarette filters. It's kind of a glossy texture, which is a little bit weird, and I'm kind of looking forward to the mouthfeel of that in my mouth right off the bat at a glance. I'm kind of looking forward to that, you know what I'm saying? But overall, and I would assume that these are also charcoal filters. I'm not exactly sure though, don't quote me on that. But overall though, the actual blend of the tobacco itself seems to be a very, very nice light blend, that is for sure. These are definitely a distinct light blend in my personal opinion, although maybe it's just the lighting. And smelling this cigarette right off the bat, I'm not really getting much smell from the cigarette itself. Let's just go ahead and try smelling this. Oh man, these smell amazing. Okay. I definitely have to say, wow. I want my home to smell like that. That smells amazing. It just smells like super high quality, really, really sweet tobacco. Not really, really sweet, but it smells like really high quality tobacco. It smells amazing. I would definitely have to say, let me go and smell it again, just to go ahead and see if I can really get a good prediction going. It smells very sweet. It smells very sweet. Maybe. So I'm kind of definitely expecting a sweeter tinge kind of thing, but I would definitely also have to say, as I said with my expectations at the beginning of this video, I'm kind of expecting sort of a sour sweet taste kind of thing. I'm definitely not really expecting any sort of bitterness from this, and if I get any bitterness from this, I definitely do think that it will be from, well, the actual roughness of the cigarette itself, not from the taste of the tobacco. But taking a look to see if there's any perforation, there are indeed 2 lines of perforation going right here in the middle of the cigarette right here. And I'm saying I almost forgot to mention perforation, but there are indeed 2 tiny lines of perforation. So this is indeed more than likely a light cigarette, not a full flavored, but I will not know for sure until, well, I smoke it, you know what I'm saying? But I think I've covered pretty much the look of the cigarette. I think I've covered the quality of the cigarette. It's super high quality right off the bat kind of thing. The smell from these is amazing, I gotta be honest. I love how the cigarette filter looks. I love how the cigarette looks. I think it's such a great design, and definitely just right off the bat, the packaging is amazing. The D-lock is so cool. This looks amazing. Overall, this is so cool, you know what I'm saying? This is so cool. I am loving this cigarette right off the bat. I was thinking that these were not going to be as unique as the Nat Shermans, because I picked up the Nat Sherman Black and Golds at the same time as I picked up these cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And I was expecting these to not be as unique as the Nat Sherman Black and Golds. These are just as unique as the Nat Sherman Black and Golds. I'm not going to say they're more unique, but they are just as unique as the Nat Sherman Black and Golds. So certainly no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? Overall though, I am so excited to try these for the first time and to let you guys know what I actually think of the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And I do think without further ado, it is time for me to actually go ahead and get my lighter all out of my pocket, you know what I'm saying? Because I completely forgot to take it out of my pocket, you know what I'm saying? So I've got my lighter right here, just my normal black Bic lighter, you know what I'm saying? So I do think without further ado, I am going to go ahead and get the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarette all lit up and go ahead and let you guys know what I actually think of this cigarette and to find out whether it's actually worth $10.50, you know what I'm saying? Right off the bat though, this is such a cool, unique cigarette though. Overall though, I'm so excited to try these. Without further ado, let's go ahead and, well, get the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarette all lit up and go ahead and see how it actually is. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying? Right off the bat, these come off like a light. These really do come off like a light. I will not know if these are actually a light until, well, I start smoking and maybe I feel a little bit buzzed or something like that kind of thing. It's been about an hour since I've had a cigarette, if I had to guess, you know what I'm saying? So I will not know if I actually, I'm gonna have to feel the buzz kind of thing to really know if these are full flavored or not. But right off the bat, I'm gonna go ahead and take another hit to really see what the taste is like. That's so weird. This is one of the only cigarettes I've ever smoked that tastes like how it smells. I'm not kidding. This tastes like how it smells. And it's very difficult to really pinpoint the taste because it was really difficult to kind of pinpoint the smell as well. But it was sort of a very sweet, sort of nice tobacco smell. I definitely have to say there's some sourness in the taste kind of thing. It's not super distinctive. It's a very, very nice sort of mellow sour with a lot of sweetness in there as well. Wow. These have probably one of the most unique tastes from a cigarette I've ever had before. They're super smooth. There is very, very, very little roughness from these. Let's go and test the body real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep talking about the taste after that, you know what I'm saying? The body is about the same size as an ultralight or a light, I gotta be honest. So these are more than likely light cigarettes, or at least they come off like a light, I gotta be honest. So definitely very mellow, not the most full flavored thing in the world, that is for sure. But for something that comes off like a light cigarette, these have so much tobacco taste, it almost comes off more like a full flavor. The last time I experienced something like this was with the State Express 555 Golds, which I could have swore were light cigarettes. They came off like light cigarettes, except they had a full flavored taste. And that's kind of how these come off as well. So I am kind of thinking that these might be full flavored cigarettes, but I'm really not exactly sure. But they definitely do come off body-wise more like a light cigarette. Very, very little roughness in the back of my throat. A little bit on that last hit, but really not much in all honesty kind of thing. And if anything, it's just a very, very nice calming roughness. You know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. These might be one of my favorite cigarettes. These are so good. These are really good. These are really good cigarettes. Yeah, these are really good. I am 100% serious right now. These are one of the best cigarettes I have ever tried. One of the most high quality cigarettes I've ever tried. The taste is just, you taste the high quality kind of thing. $10.50 though, oh my God. I could totally see myself daily smoking these. But the $10.50, which is insane. That's the same price as more Reds. I love the more Reds as well. And these definitely come off very, honestly, these come off kind of like the more Reds. They kind of have a more Reddy type taste. I definitely have to say cigarettes that this tastes similar to, it's not as sweet as the Southern Cut or the Virginia Blend, but in my personal opinion, this comes off a lot like a Blend 27 or a more Red. In my personal opinion, at least, that's what this comes off like quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? Definitely most similar to the more Reds or the Marlboro Blend 27s in my personal opinion, which have been two of my top daily cigarettes for the last little bit. Although I will admit I haven't bought a pack of more Reds in quite a while, you know what I'm saying? Only because they're so expensive, because they're like $9.50 in my area, and these are $1.50 more than more Reds. Oh my goodness. But the taste is sort of a very, very nice, mellow, sour taste with a lot of genuine tobacco sweetness in there as well kind of thing. Overall, giving you a very, very pure, additive-free, no chemical type taste. Overall, I love the taste of these cigarettes. They don't really come off like a raisiny taste or anything like that kind of thing. They definitely don't come off like a raisiny taste. I'm trying to really think of a way to describe the taste of these cigarettes that isn't another cigarette itself. Because as I said, these come off like the more Reds. These come off like the Marlboro Blend 27s. But how to describe the taste when with something that's not a smokable product or something that's a food or something like that? There really is no good way. But what I can say is that there's no chemical taste kind of thing. These come off like a very, very sour, sort of mellow, sweet taste kind of thing. A very mellow, sour, sweet taste. And typically, this sort of taste would not really be to my preference. But the lack of roughness, the sort of lighter body from these, have honestly made this one of my top cigarettes ever. I haven't even finished this cigarette yet. And I'm just going to go ahead and just say right off the bat, these are going into my top 5. These are edging out one of my other top 5 cigarettes as one of my top 5 cigarettes. I hate to say it, but these are amazing. I love these cigarettes right off the bat kind of thing. This is, genuinely speaking, one of the best cigarettes I've ever tried. I am not kidding. Genuinely one of the best cigarettes I've ever tried. This definitely does smoke a little bit quickly kind of thing. In my personal opinion, this definitely does smoke a little bit faster than Dunhill Internationals. But I would assume that's because the tobacco is, well, fine cut kind of thing. I would assume that the Dunhill Internationals are probably not fine cut cigarettes, and that's probably why they smoke a little bit slower. So I definitely have to say it's probably just an attribute of these being fine cut as to why they smoke a little bit faster kind of thing. But I love these cigarettes right off the bat. The taste is amazing. Let's go ahead and just test the body one more time. Definitely still a very light body kind of thing. Not really a lot going on. This very, very long filter right here and the perforation in the filter definitely does help that. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying? But certainly no complaints on my behalf. Overall, this is an amazing cigarette. I do think without further ado, I'm going to go and take one more hit, and I'm going to go ahead and finish off the cigarette and go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts and the rating for the Dunhill, I almost said Dunhill International, for the Dunhill Fine Cut Whites. Overall, no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go ahead and stub this out real quick and just stub it out, make sure I can't be causing no forest fires or nothing like that. But right off the bat, this is one of my favorite cigarettes ever. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. These are going in my top 5. The Dunhill Fine Cut Whites are fantastic. The taste, as said, very much a mellow, sour, sweet taste with no chemical taste. One of the most pure tobacco tastes I've ever had from a cigarette before. These are amazing. One of the best cigarettes I've ever tried. $10.50 though is quite a lot of money. $10.50 though is quite a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. And one thing I do want to say, I think these are actually full flavored cigarettes. I do not think that these are lights. I do not think that they are ultralights. They come off like a light. They are smooth like a light cigarette kind of thing. But I'm feeling pretty buzzed right now. So as such, I do indeed think that these are full flavored cigarettes. I do indeed think that the Dunhill Fine Cut Whites are full flavored cigarette. They just come off like a light cigarette kind of thing more than a full flavored, but I definitely do think that these are a full flavored cigarette nonetheless, in my personal opinion at least. But if you guys know for sure, let me know in the comments down below whether these are a light or a full flavored kind of thing. But in my personal opinion, because I'm feeling a pretty nice buzz right now, it's a very, very low-key buzz, definitely not a I almost cussed. This is a family-friendly channel, you know what I'm saying? I cannot cuss, but these definitely come off more like a light cigarette, but they have a buzz like a full flavored, not a super heavy buzz, but it's still a buzz nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Overall, though, I think these would be a great drunk cigarette to chain smoke kind of thing. These were a fantastic taste kind of thing, super mellow, just so great right off the bat kind of thing. And overall, these are going into my top 5, just right off the bat kind of thing. And I'm sure you guys can tell these are going to be getting a fantastic rating. Now, what is the rating I'm thinking for the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes? The rating I'm thinking is going to be absolutely fantastic for the packaging, for the ridges, for the embossment right here kind of thing, for the look of the packaging overall, which is a super, super clean, minimalist, classy look in my personal opinion. I love how the packaging looks right off the bat. I love the market segmentation spiel right here. I love that the actual ribbon itself has its own unique sort of texture to it and everything like that kind of thing. I love that I get a blast on. Actually, the ribbons right here, the actual white on the ribbons itself has its own unique texture as well, which I actually did not notice through the plastic. That is so cool, you know what I'm saying? I love that. I love the texture of the packaging. I love how the packaging looks. I love that when you go inside the packaging, it's got the May of service right here kind of thing. It's got the D-lock right here, which looks absolutely fantastic. And then just right off the bat, I love how these cigarettes look right off the bat kind of thing. They look amazing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not actually gonna get one of the cigarettes out, but they look amazing. The actual design on the cigarette filter itself is so cool, you know what I'm saying? Definitely something I've never seen before on another cigarette. And the actual smoke itself is amazing. As said, a very, very mellow, sour, sweet, a decent amount of sweetness kind of thing. It's definitely not mostly sour. It's definitely a good 50-50 sour sweetness kind of thing, sour to sweetness ratio. It's a great sour sweet taste kind of thing. Very, very mellow, very little roughness, if any roughness at all kind of thing. These are one of the smoothest cigarettes I've ever had at a glance, I'm sure, because, well, these are a fine cut. Overall, for the smoke, for everything, and typically speaking, a small body and a lighter cigarette kind of thing is not going to be to my preference. This is an exception to that rule. This is an exception to that rule. The one thing I can really take points off for, and the filter towards the end definitely does get mushy as well kind of thing. It definitely does not get as mushy as some other cigarettes, that is for sure, but it definitely does get some mushy, so I'm not really going to take any points off for that because it definitely does not get as mushy as a lot of other cigarettes out there. But the rating I'm thinking for these is really only hurt by the price point. These are $10.50. And one thing I didn't even mention about the packaging, these are almost like a smooth corner box kind of thing. Look at that. That looks so cool, you know what I'm saying? I love that. I completely forgot to mention that when I was going over the packaging. This is almost like a smooth corner box. I love how it's got kind of a geometric smooth corner box look to it. But the rating I'm thinking for these is a 9.5 out of 10. One of the best ratings I've ever given a cigarette, ever. No cigarette has ever gotten the 10 out of 10. Nor do I know if any cigarette will ever get a 10 out of 10. But if these were cheaper, if these were not $10.50, if these were even $8, if I could find a place where they sold these for $8, I would bump this up to a 10 out of 10. I'm not joking. And these are $10.50, where I found them. And in my area, Marlboro's about $6.50. So if I could find these for $8, which is still more expensive than Marlboro's, which is what I typically smoke, I'd bump these up to a 10 out of 10. These are one of my favorite cigarettes ever and are definitely going into my, well, top 5 cigarettes, for sure. This is gonna edge out something I gotta play. So I'm pretty sure this is edging out the Marlboro Smooths as one of my top 5 cigarettes ever I gotta play on. So these are fantastic. One of the best cigarettes I have ever had. I'm not joking, y'all. I am really not joking. Such a great taste. Got me pretty buzzed, you know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf. I now, most definitely, most definitely, need to find the Dunhill Fine Cut Blacks. I really want to try those now, because for all I know, I enjoy those even more than I enjoy these, you know what I'm saying? These are fantastic, though. I love these. These are fantastic. I don't really think I have too much to say about this pack, about this cigarette or anything like that kind of thing. But what I'm going to leave on is that these are fantastic. One of my top 5 cigarettes ever. And as I said, a solid 9.5 out of 10, with the only points being taken off for the cigarette being the price point. I wish these were cheaper. If these were even $8, if these were the same price as the Dunhill Internationals, these would be a 10 out of 10. These are better than the Dunhill Internationals. These are better. Ooh, I was about to say something I might regret. I was about to say that these are better than the Virginia Blends. Different. They're different than the Marlboro Virginia Blends. I don't know if they're better. They're just different. They're fantastic, though. These are fantastic. I definitely would have to say I prefer these over a lot of other cigarettes which come off with a kind of similar taste. Because it's just a pure tobacco taste. There's no additives. There's no chemical taste. Super pure. Super smooth. I love these cigarettes right off the bat. I cannot believe I was about to say that these are better than the Virginia Blends. They are very close to being better than the Virginia Blends, though. Very, very close. Wow. One of the best cigarettes I've ever tried. One of the best. Super unique look, super unique packaging, super classy packaging, super nice minimalist design kind of thing. Love how the cigarettes themselves look. I love that there's the resealable D-lock and everything like that kind of thing, keeping my cigarettes fresh. These are amazing. As said, a solid 9.5 out of 10. I feel like I have something else I want to say about these cigarettes right off the bat, but I really cannot remember what I want to say, you know what I'm saying? I think maybe I forgot to mention that the top and the bottom of the packaging are embossed, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that, I gotta be honest. I really cannot think of anything else to say about this cigarette right off the bat, but I do indeed feel like I'm forgetting something, you know what I'm saying? But I do suppose it is what it is. If you guys can think of anything that I'm forgetting to say about these cigarettes, though, of course, please make sure to let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought I was forgetting to mention about these cigarettes right off the bat, you know what I'm saying? But overall, though, the Dunhill Fine Cut White cigarettes are amazing, you know what I'm saying? And I do think without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and end the review right here. Thank you very much for watching my review of the Dunhill Fine Cut Whites, you know what I'm saying? If you guys enjoyed the review, or if you guys just enjoyed the video as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, my second channel, all in the description down below, you know what I'm saying? Go check it all out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. Until the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. And oh my goodness, these cigarettes were amazing. I'm so glad to have tried them for the first time. So glad I picked them up. And they really are one of my favorite cigarettes. Now, thank you very much for watching, y'all. Until the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?